What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Hope you've been enjoying the content. We have a good one for you today with some mixed bit of information coming from some of the ponies out there. It is getting a bit weird how they are really getting things wrong. Some of them actually, well, you'll see in the video because it's gonna get weird, really weird, especially when the S-Class gamer decides that it's time for him to just have that one more take. Just one more. But if you do find this video useful and want to support the channel, do consider leaving a like. I'm going to set another 500 likes challenge for this video. Let's see if we can smash that. If you haven't yet subscribed, 25% of you haven't yet subscribed, or at least it shows you haven't subscribed and are returning viewers. So if you do enjoy the content, do consider subscribing. It does help the channel grow. And of course, it does help me get to that 7,500 subs quicker. If you want to support me further, you can do that through my Patreon or through my membership. Thank you to all of you who have actually joined my membership. We are at 8 strong now and growing. Pretty cool. And I'm extremely grateful to those of you that have. Of course, there is also the super thanks link at the bottom of the video. So there is that. And my social links in the description below. Right, on with the video. So it seems Arkane Studios, Leon and Austin has exceeded 300 employees on LinkedIn. This is according to Clobril, and he's got the LinkedIn profile there. Leon is currently working on a new project after releasing Deathloop in 2021. So they've been kind of simmering away in the background for the past few years working on something new. Austin is working on RedFall, plus potentially kicking off the next project. Now we know that RedFall has been in fixed mode for quite some time. It's got a 60 FPS patch, it's got its AI patch, it's got new weapons and new stuff to do. It's actually in a good place. I do plan on streaming it with some co-op so we can see what it's like and see if it's any good. So for those of you that want to join in on the day, feel free. We may have like one spot open for those that do want to play. But it's really cool. But Arkane Studios, obviously known for RedFall. Well, not really for... I'm sure they don't want to be known for RedFall, but they're known for their Dishonored and Prey games. They've got an estimated 300 plus staff, founded in 1999. They've got Deathloop here, which was Game of the Year nominee, and of course RedFall, which, like they said, they're still working on fixing it, but it does have that 60 FPS patch now, which gives kind of like a simmer of hope, especially with the new patch from Bethesda coming for Starfield for PC. It looks like the Xbox Series X could potentially have a patch that could push it to 60 FPS, and that would end this overall drama. I think it's highly possible, and if it is, I think it's acceptable when you go into the cities for it to drop down to 45 frames per second, while everywhere else when you're out and about is at 60 locked. That's what it looked like on the PC anyway, running on a spec similar to the Series X. So, in my opinion, if they can get that in that state, go for it, and then just give people the option of whether they want to play on locked 30 with the dual frame integration that ID Software has introduced and supported Bethesda Studios with, or if they want to go with performance mode and actually run it at as close to 60 or at locked 60 as possible. I think giving the gamers a choice is the best way to go forward, considering it's a single player game. There's no multiplayer aspect to it, so it's not going to affect anything. Right. On to the next story, and of course this one is a doozy, really. There was no surprise that The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered got announced. After all, Jim Ryan did say that they tested the original Last of Us Part 1 by hoping to manipulate the audience with the TV show to go out and rebuy the game, or for those people that haven't really got an interest in gaming or have very little interest in gaming, they'd see the series and then go buy the game and the PlayStation 5, and it was a massive success financially, according to Jim Ryan. And they did say they were going to do it for the, second game with the Season 2. So, as you can see here, at least this time they've done it right. They've done it as a $10 package. Now, I know some people are saying this should be a free upgrade. I kind of, I'm going to disagree on this one. Okay, the graphical enhancements, from the pictures that I've seen, and this is low-res Twitter after all, it's not really worth even mentioning. You've got lost levels, so this is actually new content. I don't know how that's going to play out, what it's going to do, but that's actual new content that they had previously that was left out of the game because it probably didn't fit the narrative. They're adding those in some way or form for you to be able to play. There's also a new game mode, a roguelike game mode, that is supposed to be in there. That's going to be fun, hopefully. So as you can see, they've actually done stuff to, and of course they've got the free guitar play if that's your thing, and they've got the, here you go, exclusive roguelike survival mode. So overall, for $10, I guess it's going to be £10 here in the UK. I think that's enough new content to justify it, almost like a DLC, but you're getting the game as well. Now, for those of you that have the PS4 physical version, when you plug it in, you will be able to buy the standard. I know it says digital only here, but they have confirmed that you can buy it. And obviously, I know there's a bunch of people now saying, well, what if I've got it on the PS4, but I've got a digital PS5? Well, if you don't have a disc drive, you're screwed. But then again, that's a given, right? You're not going to expect them to give it to you. The question that's arising, however, is, was this needed? Because couldn't this have just come out as a DLC with the exclusive roguelite survival, lost levels? Considering the game actually looks damn good anyway on the PS4, was this needed? And as we can see over here, they're even releasing a collector's edition for this to try and ramp up as much money as humanly possible. In my opinion, this wasn't needed, but this is Sony, and what they're planning on doing is getting this out in time for the TV series to try and get those sales going on. They released The Last of Us Part 1 on the PS3, PS4, and PS5. Now, I suspect when the PlayStation 6 comes out, they'll have Part 1 on the PS6 as well. You've got now The Last of Us Part 2 on the PS4, PS5, and that will also come at some point to the PS6 when Season 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever they're doing drops down. I can see this trend, as I know Naughty Dog are in the background working on The Last of Us 3, but Sony really has become the platform of remasters, the platform of remakes. And don't get me wrong, I can get remakes being an okay thing. Like with Final Fantasy VII, the last one really was, in 1997, they did like a PC port, but it was still the same game, still the same sprites. What they did with 7 Remake is such a huge remake that it can be classified as a new game. Sure, the story, even the story was changed, so 7 Remake is definitely something unique. But in terms of like a remake, if they decided to like remake Metal Gear Solid 1 from the PS1 days to PS5 or Xbox Series X days, I think that's a big enough jump between the games to be okay. But 3 years, I just don't see it. I really don't. Good for those that want to go and buy it and support and play the game, the same game that over and over and over and over again, which is looking like the way of Sony PlayStation. There are some good things here, like I said, but at the same time, the question that keeps arising is, was it needed? Did it need to happen? And in my opinion, no. This is purely a money-making scam. But at the very least, they didn't do what they did with The Last of Us Part 1, and that is charge you $70. Now, this is probably going to be about $80-90, maybe even $100, but they are offering you a $10 upgrade path, which for those of you that actually want to pick this up and replay it again, at least there is that, low entry price point. And for those of you that don't have the game and are considering it, go buy The Last of Us Part 2 secondhand. It was hammered down by the community so much, so you can probably find it secondhand for about £10-15, and then pay an extra $10, and you've got the PS5 version. Happy days. Okay, so what I said about the S-Class gamer, I wasn't joking. My dude has attained a new level of enlightenment. It goes without saying that his whole ethos around this is starting to become very worrying. He makes really stupid takes, like Xbox should go third party, and all games should come to PlayStation because having no competition makes a company less weak. Because having no competition makes a company less strong, and it doesn't give them the power to do anything they want. A bit like how Steam has brainwashed everyone into doing things their own way. I get Steam is good. Steam is nice. I don't care if the game's on Epic Game Store or wherever. If I enjoy the game, I'm playing the game. I like Steam. don't get me wrong, but I think recently they have proven that they are a company first and they will screw you over the first chance they get. And they showed this perfectly with the OLED Steam Deck. When you're looking at, you know, the Nintendo Switch, they announced the OLED quite in advance. You know, when you're looking at the Xbox One X, they announced it in advance. The PS4 Pro in advance. We're still waiting for the official announcement for the PS5 Pro, but when it does get announced, you can bet your money that it's going to be about 3-4 months in advance to give people that opportunity. And those that are on the fence of buying a PS5 will probably wait for that one. But with Steam Deck, but what Valve did, they give their consumers 7 days notice before they release the OLED, trying to maximize and basically get people to buy the Steam Deck as much as possible. It is a very, very scummy thing to do. And therefore, you know, it just proves that no matter how good a company is, the only thing they care about is your wallet. But that aside, that kind of digressed because I wanted to kind of get that out there because he makes some really bad takes, right? A company going third party and making one company first party only is just, you know, to even have that mindset, you can't be mentally sane up there. You just cannot. But then again, this dude is talking about gas giants, and just today, he was defending the fact that you should be able to land on a gas giant. I shit you not. Just today, he was defending the fact that because it's a game, you should be able to land in a gas giant just because Star Citizen has an area called Orison, which has floating islands. I mean, just wow, man. Just wow. But it gets better, right? It gets better because just when we thought he had enough, I mean, today's antics were probably indication that he hadn't, but just when we thought he had enough, he sees this, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered PS5 trailer launches January 19th, 2024. And this is his reaction, folks. My dude just jerked off to the news. Look at it. I mean, you can see the delight as he's just coming all over Neil Druckmann. I mean, I don't need to say any more. There is something seriously wrong with this guy. There is. There has to be. There has to be. I mean, I guess some people are really happy about this, but that reaction is a bit much, right? I mean, it's a bit much, right? Well, folks, that's going to be the end of part 1 of this video. It's actually a 25-minute video, so I'm splitting it in two. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the downfall of Destiny because it seems to be getting worse. And we're also going to be covering some ludicrous stuff when it comes to the PS Portal. But hopefully you'll enjoy that video. That will come out around midday. Don't forget to like and subscribe on this video. Appreciate all the support you're showing. If you do want to support me further, you can do that through my Patreon. You can become a YouTube member, or you can click on that super thanks to support me. You can also follow me on my social channels. That would be awesome. I am trying to build a presence there. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain vigilant.